Hey guys, what's going on? Hope everybody's doing good out there today, and thanks for taking a little bit of time out of your day to watch the video. Much appreciated. Never take that for granted. And if you hadn't had a chance to subscribe to the channel yet, please do so, because probably in the next 3 or 4 days we're going to be giving away the 40,000 subscriber giveaway. Cases of Bridgeford beef jerky, Seagar fishing line, solar bat sunglasses. All you have to do is subscribe to be into that drawing right there. And also just wanted to remind you guys, this Thursday from 6 to 9 p.m., Johnny and I have our next virtual seminar on fishthemoment.com. We're going to be doing it on Northern Lakes. I'm going to cover all the smallmouth stuff up there. Johnny's going to be taking the largemouth stuff. It's going to be a great 3-hour seminar. You can sign up for that at fishthemoment.com. So much appreciated on that. So today what I'm going to do is I'm going to talk a little bit about the 2021 Toyota Series Championship on Lake Pickwick that I qualified for a couple months ago. I competed in the Plains division here in my part of the country, and our season got over pretty early this spring, and I was able to qualify in 16th place for that. Really looking forward to it. And what I wanted to do is I'm going to sort of give you guys a sort of a breakdown about, maybe get into the mind of how a lot of people, or how I anyway, break down tournaments as far as, my preparation for the tournament, and what I think I'm going to be doing. Sorry about that, guys. Another dump truck going by. And I sort of wanted to let you into my mind a little bit about what I'm thinking that needs to be done to win this tournament. I've fished tournaments for over 35 years. In that course of 35 years, I've won 5 major tournaments. I probably had another 20 tournaments over the course of the time that I've actually had the fish hooked to win the tournament. So in retrospect, looking back, I sort of know, and I've figured out what it takes to win a tournament as far as area and technique. So I was going to share a little bit of that with you guys as far as Lake Pickwick. So first of all, Lake Pickwick a little bit. This is, boy, they got some really bad glare coming off of there. Talk a little bit about Lake Pickwick here. Lake Pickwick is it's a really interesting fishery, and one of the things about it, it's one of the fisheries in the United States that I really feel is overrated. Pickwick has a lot of tournaments on it, and the last 10 years has gotten a tremendous amount of championship type tournaments, big money tournaments and that type of stuff. And while it's a good lake, the reason I say it's an overrated lake is it does not fish big at all. It fishes really small, specifically at certain times of the year. There's usually 2 or 3 key areas on the lake that wind up producing the winning bags, and those areas get fished quite a bit. So from that standpoint, I'm not real excited about Pickwick as a venue, even though I've done fairly well there in the past tournaments. I fished there for 20 some years. So to sort of share with you guys what's in my mind, what my plan is for winning this tournament. And my plan going into this, like everybody else, is we're going to this tournament, trying to win the thing, because it pays over $200,000 to win the tournament. If you make the championship, you're not interested in any points or anything. You want to win the tournament. And when you're going to a championship tournament like this, or some of the Bassmasters Classics I've been in, or Forcewood Cups, you shift a little bit in your approach to the deal. And one of the things is, one of the most overused cliches in bass fishing is swinging for the fences. You hear that a lot when people talk about thinking they're going to win the tournament, or trying to win the tournament, or trying to catch a big bass. Swinging for the fences is not the correct way to say it, because normally if somebody swings for the fences, they always back it up by, like, that's an excuse for not doing well. In order to win tournaments, and in order to place high in tournaments, oh, there comes another dump truck. God. Number one, you've got to put yourself, there's 2 elements in my opinion, just analyzing my own wins and analyzing other people's wins. There's 2 elements that you have to figure out. Number one is you have to figure out how to catch the bigger fish, as far as areas and technique. You got to put yourself in that water with those techniques. And number 2, you have to sort of analyze the potential of the lake for different options that are going to win that tournament. Now, for example, here's what I'm sort of going through in my mind at Pickwick, what I need to do in my own style of fishing to win this tournament. I realize the tournament is at the end of October. There's going to be a lot of different options going on there. There's going to be some fish in the grass at Pickwick. There's getting to be a lot of offshore grass in the lake now. There's probably going to be some fish out on the main lake ledges and creek ledges. There's probably going to be some type of a tail race bite. There's probably going to be some type of a bite on another lake. If some people walk up to Lake Wilson, there's probably going to be some shallow fish to be caught on Pickwick too. So you've got a lot of different options for this particular thing to work out. So here's what I'm thinking in my own mind. Let's talk about the tail race area at Pickwick first. Probably as many tournaments get won on the tail race area as any place on the lake. The reason I'm not going to fish the tail race area is, number one, people that usually fish the tail race areas, they have some type of a local knowledge of Pickwick as far as knowing where those key little current seams and rock piles are, understanding how those fish position in current. There's a lot of, it's a complex area to fish, the tail race areas, on any body of water like that. I don't feel that I can go to a tail race area. That was another dump truck. I don't feel like I can go to the tail race area and compete against any other guys in the tournament that have some local knowledge in there. So right off the bat, I'm going to eliminate the tail race area. Number two is the offshore ledge area. Even though I've done good at Pickwick on offshore ledges, I don't feel like I can go there and compete against some of the local guys that are probably going to qualify for this event offshore. I can't beat them at their own game, so I'm not even going to try. So I'm eliminating the offshore flats. Talk about third on grass. I love fishing offshore grass. Pickwick has got, a decent amount of it, but the problem with the offshore grass at Pickwick, it grows in one small area of the lake. It's going to get hammered. I got burned on it at the last tournament we fished there. This past the most recent tournament we fished there. At our first Bassmaster Open there in May. I'm not going to fish the offshore grass because even though I think that holds a real good potential to win the tournament, if you key in on just the right thing, I think the amount of boat pressure in that particular area is going to sort of neutralize it. And still, October, November, I don't think is probably the best time to fish it. Lake Wilson is an option. I've done good on Lake Wilson too. I'm considering possibly going up into Lake Wilson and locking through and fishing some of that water there. But the problem is we're taking out at the lower end of Lake Pickwick. So that's a long run up to the lock, and then you have to lock through. So even though that's an option, that's sort of like on the low end of my option. Okay, so that's sort of the what I'm thinking about I don't need to be doing. What I do need to be doing, in order for me to win this tournament, and in order for anybody to win the tournaments, you have to find something special. You have to find something that's going on current when you get there, that's basically generating the strikes from the bigger fish. You can't be thinking in terms of catching, a 12 or 13 pound limit and win this tournament. You've got to be thinking in terms of catching mid to upper teens bags of fish to do that. So in order for me to compete against the guys that are expert at the tail race, expert at the offshore ledges, expert at the grass, I have got to find some type of shallow water pattern on Lake Pickwick that is overlooked by a lot of different people. And I think that since the tournament is towards the end of October, water's going to be cooling down, the fish are going to be starting to move shallower. I think there's a realistic chance that tournament can be won fishing some, I don't want to say oddball type of a pattern, but basically some type of a shallow pattern on Pickwick other than what I just described to you there. I think it's one of the deals where I don't think a lot of the top finishers are going to be doing it, but I think if you can key in on the right combination of things, if you get the right weather conditions leading up to the tournament and key on the right techniques, I certainly think the tournament could get won fishing shallow stuff on Lake Pickwick that a lot of people are overlooking. That's my plan for the tournament. That is my plan for winning the Toyota Series Championship in November or in October on Lake Pickwick. Is I'm going to spend my time searching for those individual larger fish that aren't grouped up. And this is going to require me probably to doing a lot of movement. It's going to require me to isolate specific targets, understand casting angles, key in on the right bait is going to be a big deal, and have the weather sort of play into my hand. All that stuff's got to come together. But that's the way that I'm going to approach the tournament, because I know if I'm going to that tournament to win it. I'm not going to that tournament to try to get some points in there. And I'm not going to go to that tournament and try to compete with somebody else that has a higher level of skill in a particular area or certain situation. You have got to fish your strengths to win tournaments. Every tournament that I've ever won in my life, or come close to winning, or should have won, have come fishing this, what I consider my strong points. It's not just one or two things, it's maybe a half a dozen different techniques. So that's my plan to do that, and it's a matter of committing to that. You can't have a plan in a tournament as far as figuring out what you want to do and give it a couple hours. You have to commit to it, and you have to exhaust the potential of that. And if I go out and practice and get dialed into the right thing, yeah, I could certainly win that tournament doing it. If I go into the practice and I fish the way that I think I'm going to catch them for the entire practice, and don't catch anything, then the first day of the tournament I can always start practicing all over again, switching gears completely. So anyway, that's sort of what's going on in my mind, guys, as far as approaching this. I know the tournament's still quite a ways away. We still got 3 months before the tournament starts. But anytime that I'm fishing a championship event, I always start mentally incorporating it into my daily way of thinking far out in advance, because anytime you're thinking about a tournament, you're actually doing a little bit of a mental pre-fish for it. So I'm beginning my mental pre-fish for Lake Pickwick right now, and we'll see how it goes with that. But that's the deal, guys. Just wanted to run that by you guys for a quick video. Again, much appreciated checking in. I'll keep you guys updated as the tournament gets closer. I'll be filming it for the YouTube channel, covering the whole practice, and let you guys know how it goes with that. So anyway, thanks for tuning in, guys. Much appreciated again. We'll see y'all later.